love it. It's like at school, I was able to have so many more chances to be able to express who I am and be able to help others celebrate who they are. And that's what I love about PCC. It's been a great place for everyone to show who they are and to have a safe space as much as possible. And that's it. Sorry.
That's it. All right. Thank you very much. Last person to speak. Oh, good news. The YouTube link is now working. So, whoa. Okay, so just in time, Jasmine.
Yay. Hello,
Please
folks.
share. Yeah.
Thank you for allowing me to share this virtual space with you all today. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about what I stand for and why I am uniquely qualified for the position as Vice President for Community Diversity. My name is Jasmine Lopez. I stand for equity, inclusion, and unity. Some of my specific goals are to highlight and celebrate the diverse intersectionalities across the Pasadena City College campus. I plan to advocate for the historically minoritized communities such as undocumented, LGBTQ, and systemically impacted students. As many of these identities usually correlate and show the unequal access to basic human rights, my plan is to unite these communities and extend resources to them within campus, but also throughout off-campus organizations. During these sensitive times, these communities are most vulnerable and currently highly impacted by the current crisis we are facing, known as COVID-19. There is a need to bridge equity gaps and empower these communities to become leaders and embrace campus as a safe and an inclusive space. In my experience here at PCC, I have found liberation through my academic journey. My first year as a non-traditional student has been the most impactful and meaningful transition, from being a full-time hospitality employee to a full-time student on campus. I am now heavily involved as a student leader for FIRST as a board member, my role as a mentor for the Puente Project, and as a student intern for the Office of Student Life. Some of my tasks among these communities have been organizing cultural, wellness, justice, and leadership events with the intention of building safe learning spaces. Organizing such events has inspired me to continue to learn from not only students, but also staff and faculty at PCC. My experience has enhanced my personal growth and empowered me to use my voice for the folks that haven't found theirs just yet. My commitment to fulfill the responsibilities for Vice President of Community Diversity are to celebrate diversity, unite communities, and eliminate all discrimination while organizing with a holistic, multicultural approach and an equity-minded learning community. Together we will rise. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to go on to our two candidates who are running for sustainability, Santiago and Emmanuel. Does anyone have a strong preference who goes first? Okay, I see Emmanuel first. Okay.
Ready?
Yep, go for it.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Gomez, and I am running for Vice President for Sustainability. I am a formerly incarcerated system-impacted student who believes in social change and social awareness. Through sustainable design that I am currently a part of on campus, I plan to get all of my accrued knowledge and experience through the Sustainable Technologies program to be able to implement new and innovative forms of promoting efficiency on campus. Sustainability is about working with what you've got locally, and we face a big issue with climate change. And in order to contribute towards the positive impact of this world, we need to find new ways to promote social consciousness and awareness of the environment and its depleted resources. I plan to point out the food injustices that we face as a society and on campus. I am currently working for the Lancer Pantry. I have received distribution through the Lancer Pantry where I believe it is very important for everyone to let go of the stigma that surrounds food insecurity and how it fuels pride and the insecurity of having access, equal access for all to food. That's what I stand for, and I plan to share more innovative ways of providing that access to all of us. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Again, to the entire audience, if folks have questions, please type them in the respective chat boxes. If you were admitted into the Zoom chat, please type it in the Zoom chat there. If you have questions and you're on the YouTube live, go ahead and post them there. We are getting started, and I'm going to ask the candidates, it's really up to you, because we started live streaming late and not everyone got to see the first two folks speak. Do you feel okay letting them have a second chance at that? Is that something that you feel is fair? Okay, great. So to the audience, just so you know, we will circle back around to them at the end of this, so that way you can hear them as well. Okay. So thank you very much, Emmanuel. The last person we have speaking here today, he's also running for Vice President for Sustainability. That is Santiago Vargas. So go ahead.
Hello everyone, my name is Santiago Vargas. I am currently the VP of Sustainability with Associate Students. I am running this semester again, this year again, because I truly believe that sustainability is an area where we must improve. There is a lot of area of growth within these aspects. I believe that within the community college system that we are in today, I pretty much agree with what Emmanuel said. There is a lot of food insecurity within our students, and we really need innovation, and we need to make an impact on the students. And I truly believe that we, as young minds, we could bring this innovation and this efficiency and this awareness that we want to implement in students. I truly believe that sustainability starts from our inner selves. So that's something we are focusing on this semester. We want to create that awareness on people of caring about what we put in our bodies and start from there. So we believe that by being sustainable from our inner selves, we could create a sustainable campus and a sustainable peace environment. And that's what we are looking for.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's do this. We missed all of Joanna's and about half of Connie's. And I think the audience is very interested in hearing you speak and represent yourself. So if you would circle back and just give us your intro once again. And we'll go with Joanne.
Well, hello again, everyone. Or once. My name is Joanna Chun. I am running for Vice President of Community Diversity. I am a theater arts major and a child development major. I'm a student, teacher, and a mother, and I bring forth an open mind view, and the patience to be able to further our evolution in diversity. Um, as a as my personal experiences have given me a broad view of things, that I have been able to volunteer with different walks of life, with people and their moralities and their just their values. You know, being able to intake um, all of that information that people have taught me gives me so much more. So, you know, having that open mind set forth gives me the opportunity to learn so much. If elected, I plan to fulfill my responsibility to inform my fellow students of the diversity we have within our campus by providing activities that help us learn more about our neighbors. Because at the end of the day, we learned that what we learn in our environment also applies within our future. Being able to learn to communicate and understand that we are all one in unity, it helps us all. So we are all unique, and this is what
Joanna, you cut out. Joanna? Can anyone else hear me? Okay, so Joanna, just so you know, your last 10 seconds or so cut out. So I don't know if that was your mic, but we're just going to leave it at that. And we're going to catch you. Everyone, don't worry, because you will have an opportunity at the end to kind of recap your whole statement, okay? Okay, Connie, one more shot at it, please.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Connie Rivera, and I am rerunning for the position of VP of Community Diversity. Before I came into this position, I was actually involved with student life since my first semester here at PCC. I've had the opportunity to help celebrate the diversity that exists on our campus, and in this position, I would like to further highlight all the communities that exist on our campus, and help celebrate the diversity of everyone at PCC. Sorry. Let's see. I've had so many opportunities, and I've met so many people, and I've learned so much from everyone, and I want to further share everything that I've learned with other students. Yeah.
Okay, thank you all. So now we've got a bunch of questions from the crowd, but I'm going to start with, we'll start broadly, and then we're going to go down to some very specific pieces. One of the questions that we have, I guess this is for all the candidates, and you could raise your hand and I'll pick you in order. But this is the hot topic. We will be going 90% remote. We are 100% remote in summer, 90% remote in the fall. For all of the candidates, how will you engage students while we're remote? So feel free to raise your hand. I'll call on you. Jasmine, go for it.
Thank you. So my vision of connecting with folks not only includes using social media platforms, but also utilizing the programs already established on campus that are going virtually remote. I plan on extending a personal system or plan in order to reach these certain identities, such as working with the Quest Center in their intersectional background with LGBTQ and undocumented folks, the core program with system impacted folks and formerly incarcerated folks, as well as Puente, Ujima, EOPNS, and the care program. So specifically reaching out to the programs and reaching out there and offering the resources that we have on campus.
All right, thank you very much. Who else would like to answer this question?
Can you say the question again? Sorry.
So the question is, how would you, if elected, how would you engage students when we are remote learning in the fall?
I'll say that. Sorry, I'll go.
I'll
say that this opportunity, this breakdown that we are facing nowadays, bring us an opportunity to innovate and to look through different points that we didn't think before. So I will say that there is a lot of improvement that we need to do. I will say that, for example, this morning I made an appointment with my counselor, and it was really easy. I just did 3 clicks to do that. And I remember, for example, when we were on campus, it was really hard for us, or for me as an international student, to have an appointment with a counselor, and I just spent 5 minutes to that. So I will say that this opportunity to go online we will have a lot of resources through all the platforms that are out there, more than Instagram and more than Trello and YouTube and Zoom. There are a lot of ways to approach to people, and that's what I would say.
Great. Connie, yeah, go for it.
One way I would help be interactive with students is by having virtual events and having the events to help celebrate different ideas on campus, and also to share the resources that PCC has, and hopefully to help be able to answer any questions the students may have regarding everything being virtual. And I'll still make sure that it's a way for students to interact with each other socially. And I found that social media has been a very helpful way for students to interact with each other. And it's also a great way to just help share information. So I would definitely utilize social media.
Okay, thank you. So hear from Connie or Emmanuel.
I can go.
Go for it.
So I believe that through this new challenge that we are facing, having to adapt virtually, still having to continue with our current semester as if we were on campus. The only thing different is that we can't physically see one another, hug each other. We can't share that bond that creates a community. And I believe that by creating a safe space and encouraging social interaction, by checking up on others, we will be able to allow for Zoom to be acknowledged as a form of communication. We may be confined at home at the moment, but it is best because it is a safe recommendation. And we have been on campus, we have been working with First and Core, and we've been doing a lot of virtual outreach, as well as trivia nights, movie nights. We've been able to teach each other what is helping us on campus, terms, requirements that need to be fulfilled, but we're so distant. But I believe that if we continue to create community and show unity, we will be able to live through this virtual age that is required for the future to progress.
All right, thank you. Joanna, did you want to chime in on this? So the question again is, we're going to be remote in the fall. How are you going to connect remotely? And let's do a test. Can we hear you?
Test, test, test.
Yeah, you're on. Good for it. Go.
Thank you. Well, the way I see it is obviously we all have social media platforms. That is one thing that we cannot deny. We have TikTok, we have Snapchat, we have so many new apps that are coming up and being developed because of the circumstances that we're in. So I think that if we were to advocate to pair up with the rest of the resources that we have on campus to be able to promote that communication, that we are lacking social gatherings, but not being able to lack the communication, being able to open the ways for everybody to communicate sociably, even as we are right now live, be able to communicate by using our radio network that we have on campus, our film and TV department, our theater department, which they're going to be going also live at some point. Communicating with the child center, the child development centers, they have a lot of resources there available that we can utilize and spread around, as well as communicating with our Foothill campus and our Rosemead campus, triggering all three of our campuses and commuting together and being just together to be able to fulfill what we need. The resources are there. It's just a matter of getting together and implementing it. So the way I see it is keeping communication and being able to trigger all these social media platforms and spread so many activities, such as stated by by the other members, trivia nights, movie nights, as well as podcasting. I've participated in a couple of podcasts, even Zoom conferences that you do activities, maybe someone or everybody else, Cards Against Humanities, we can have some mental checks there, anything, any sorts of games, and we can have our own decks and just come together and unite. We're all unique in our own way, but as long as we have that unity, we can be strong and go forth.
All right, thank you very much. So the questions keep on rolling in, but I'm going to jump in with a question I think that's really important, again, for everybody, and then we'll break it down to individual questions per role. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I think we've really seen over the last 6 to 8 weeks just how important mental health is for our students. So question to all of you, what would you do to help improve the mental health and availability of support to our students online and in person? Or what would you do in general? Because actually we don't know where we're going to be. I tell everybody we're at the whim of the disease. We don't know where we're going to be, but mental health is certainly an issue and always has been an issue on campus. It's one we don't talk about. So again, to anyone who wants to start us off, talk to me about what you would do regarding mental health. And I see Emmanuel's got his hand up, so I'll let him go first. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that I'll be able to share some of my personal things that have helped me throughout this month and this quarantine and life in general on campus. We have a lot of resources on campus, as well as external resources that are connected to our campus. We have a great personal counseling center. I've had outstanding help from doctors there in the past, such as Dr. Bryce and the health center. I believe that if we make these things transparent, actually make them accessible, provide links to students, phone calls to students amongst our professors that we trust, our professors are able to connect us with those resources. We face in America a stigma that makes us believe that being aware of our mental health and seeing a counselor and seeing therapy, the word therapy has been tossed around, and it is bravery when you want to find a way to express yourself. I see a behavioral therapist that I was linked through the campus, and our resources at Valley County. We have many counselors on campus that are willing to have a phone call, do like a webinar, and provide you ways of advocating for that. Just a few days ago, I attended the Health Wellness Instagram Live, and they promoted being able to ground yourself and write letters to one another. It's, I think what this world needs is to be able to encourage others and promote that individual love. And I think that's the way that I would increase the awareness of it.
All right, great. Thank you. Jasmine, was that you waving your hand? You want to go next? Okay, Jasmine, go for it.
Thank you. So in regards to mental health, I think that that is the most essential part of our well-being. So I would definitely emphasize, and I have been working very closely with organizing a mental health awareness week through the Office of Student Life. And for me, it's about where to begin, because I think that that's a big part of beginning that journey is knowing what questions to ask and knowing what to look for, and what our individual needs are as a person, to bring forth that wellness, that mental stability, and mindfulness. So with that, I have been organizing using a professional voice, such as our personal psychologist, Dr. Vasquez. And I have also thought about incorporating someone that is a lot more of a student voice, but also a former student that is a health coach currently. And I think that that gives us that connection of knowing where to begin, knowing what steps to take, and breaking the stigmas of not speaking about mental health, as Emmanuel spoke about. So I definitely think bringing forth the mental health aspect within any position on the board is a part of essential, like the essential tasks. So that's my response. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Santiago, go for it.
Thank you. So I will say, as Jasmine mentioned, I will say that mental health is a pillar we will need to take care of. Some of the times I believe, or my background, I'm from Colombia, and I will say that or that we do not care that much about the mental health. So if you listen, as they mentioned earlier, if you care, if you listen to someone that they are going to a therapy or something, you see them as, or the way they see them is as a weakness. But after 2 or 3 couple of years living over here in the United States, I will say that that's not the way to go. I believe that mental health is really, really important for us. I will say that in these times of the lockdown, this mental health is something that highlight highlight all the weakness, not weaknesses, but all the experiences, the prior experiences that some of us had. So I will say that this solitude that we are facing nowadays will bring all, will highlight all those uh, fears that we have inside. So one of the things I am doing personally is that, for example, we created spaces. We created something that's called Here With You, and this is outside campus, but I just wanted to mention. I We created spaces in regards to music or art or entrepreneurship where we want to just connect to people that feel lonely. So we believe that just by knowing or by letting the people know that there is something that somebody that is willing to listen to them, uh, it's a huge step. And I believe that from now, from the position we are at right now, we just need to approach to people and approach to as many students as we can and faculty. I believe we just need to let them know that we are there for them, and we really need to bombard them with messages and with dialogues. And I would say a dialogue with a person is really important. And maybe that's something we all need, and that's something we should look forward to have with the students. That since we don't have that connection on campus, that's something we could move forward to look for.
Okay, thank you very much. Who else would like to speak? Connie, go for it.
Okay. So first, I would want to help let people know that it's very important to talk about mental health because many people have to face it every day, and it is okay to talk about it, and it's okay if you need to ever like talk to someone about it, whether it's like other people like just for support or is talking to someone like a psychologist or a therapist. I would make sure to share all the resources that PCC shares, like for example, like the health center. That way people know that there is someone that they can talk to, and I would want them to know that there's a support for them. And because I would also make sure to help possibly create events, that way we can talk about mental health, because people tend sorry, like I think so, like me personally, I suffer through anxiety. So for mental health, I know I appreciate it when people talk about it. So I would want to make sure to talk about it so other people know that it's okay, that it's something to talk about, and that way, and to know that there's support. And then, sorry. And so yeah, I would just want to make sure to share all the resources that PCC offers, and to help students know that, and that there's someone there for them, and also possibly create a support system like with other students, because it helps to have someone to talk to, especially when it's someone that understands what you're going through. So I would want to help create a system like that so students can have someone to talk to and make more connections.
Excellent. Okay, how about Joanna?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Okay, thank you. Regarding to mental health, I've had a lot of experience with trying to find resources. As in my past, I've also been on a site committee for Nightingale Middle School for my daughter's school. So growing up around that atmosphere, and especially in the community that I live in, there are a lot of community resources. So aside from our own on-campus community resources that we have on campus, I like to also spread around through the community, because not everybody lives near our campus. And so the fact that we also have the 3 campuses, there are other resources out there that are provided. A lot of the resources that I've researched and looked at are also, places much like D.D. Hirsch and the Northeast Mental Health. And that's because I'm in the Northeast region. So a lot of those things are, a lot of those resources are available for everyone. And sometimes we don't have the ways of, knowing this information. I, for one, have experienced it not knowing the information, but if we look for it, we can find it. And for me, especially knowing that I have looked and found some, I would love to share it with everyone. And I have, and I would like to reach this information to all our students, whether elected or not. This is something that we all need. Mental health is a state that is not really looked upon, but is something that we all need, especially as students. As students, we are triggering our assignments and our classes, our loads. And aside from that, we're working, we have jobs out there, and we have family. So being able to balance all 3 and keeping up with everything does trigger our mental state. So this is something that we need to also look in part, as well as our own well-being currently with the Stay at Home Act. So with the action of staying home also triggers our mental state. And that's, I believe, is the next thing. And this being the month of awareness, it's the one time that so many options are out there. And I would love to spread this throughout the entire year.
Okay, thank you very much. I got everybody, right? Okay, so I'm going to ask the candidates. We started a little bit late. Do you mind if, Joanna, do you have to leave at 1?
I do have a class. I can be a few minutes late though.
Okay, is everyone okay if we went 10 minutes over? Because there's a lot of questions in the chat. Is there anyone that needs to leave? It's okay if you have to. Okay, so we're all good. Jazz, you're good? Okay. All right, this is great because I'm loving this interaction we have with the crowd. We've got a lot of questions. I'm going to ask one specific question that has come up. Is towards Santiago. The question came up after you did your individual introduction. I believe you made a statement. Let me try to find the question. I think you said in your statement something regarding individually actualized sustainable demeanor. The question is, how do you plan to accomplish that? I think, did you say, do you understand that one?
No, regarding what, I'm sorry?
So regarding, I think the question was regarding individually actualized sustainable demeanor. I think you mentioned, yeah, individual behavior, sustainable behavior, individual sustainable.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I think that's what you mentioned. So okay. I think the question is, how are you going to make that happen?
Okay, so I understand that. Thank you for that question. So I will say that the main focus that we have been doing pretty much from the sustainability committee these past months is that we want to focus on 2 things. So we want to focus on how to eat healthy and how to live sustainable from home, from what we are doing. So what I was referring to is that I will say that sustainability starts from ourselves. So we are focusing our efforts on trying to come with some practices that we could do at home regarding waste management or regarding what we eat, or that's what I wanted to say. So yeah, that's pretty much, I believe.
Okay, thank you very much. So this next question is, I'm going to call it kind of lightning round. This is an opportunity because some of you have touched on this before, but I would like you to touch on it again, and you're going to have 30 seconds to answer this question. So it has to be very concise. People are asking, what is your past, how has your past experience prepared you for the role that you're doing? Either if you are sitting currently in that role or sitting on the Associate Students Board, or if you have work experience. It's a combination of several questions that I see on there, but people really want to know, how has what you've done in the past contribute to you and the position that you're running for? How do you connect your current work, either sitting on the board, or if you're not sitting on the board, if your current work or anything that you've done in your life, how is that? So they're asking, what do you bring to the table that is going to enrich the position that you're running for? Some of you may have mentioned that in your original statement. We're going to give you, I'm going to put the timer on because you all got to be concise. I'm going to give you all, let's make it actually 20 seconds, because really you should be able to kind of give your elevator pitch and say who you are and what you do and why, this past experience. Again, either if you've sat on the board, or any work experience or club experience or life experience, what makes you prepared? Well, how has that prepared you for this position? Does everyone understand the question? Okay, so I'm going to start my timer and I'm going to let Connie go first. She's got her hand up. Ready, Connie? Go.
Yeah.
Unmute yourself.
Okay, so currently I actually sit on the executive board as VP of Community Diversity, and that has given me the chance to know how to be in this position, which includes how to be a student leader, and it has also given me the opportunity to learn from my mistakes, so that way I know how to better use my position in the future. Okay, got it.
Okay, very good. So let's go back. Who wants to go next? Okay, Joanne, what we're going to do is I will, just so you know, I'll give you the countdown: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, excellent. Ready, set, go.
One of the things I did say is I have patients. I've worked with patients in cancerology and working with them in the front desk, as well as a teacher in religious education with middle school and high school children has helped me a lot. And in work experience wise, I've worked 9 years in school site council for LAUSD.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Jasmine, ready, set, go.
My experience with working with the Puente Project, as well as CORE and UJIMA, have brought forth a really strong way of bringing together the Black and Brown community. And that's something that has empowered me to keep that motivation going and create change. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. So, oops, hold on. Technology, right? All right, who wants to go next? You've had 2 of you go.
I'll do it.
All right, Emmanuel, ready? Don't forget, I'll give you the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, ready, set, go.
I am I am a formerly incarcerated and system impacted student who has faced I've been let down by the government, and I want to treat this position as what I wish my American government treats me as.
Good? Okay. All right. Santiago, I think that means that's you. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Hello, my name is Santiago Vargas. I am an engineering major. I will say engineering and it came from could have a better understanding of how to love nature and sustainability. And I am a true believer of how students could potentially change the world.
All right. Thank you very much. Did I miss anybody? I got you all, right? Okay, great. There's a lot of questions around that. I think people are very interested in how you're bringing your own perspective to this position. And as a reminder, I'm going to give you all one last closing statement, and that seems to be of great interest to the community on the board. So please, you want to think, you get another bite at this apple, share again how your experiences have prepared you and what they will contribute to this position. We'll do that as a wrap up. You might want to mention that thing when we do that. Okay, so we've got a lot of other questions on the board. And I think this time we're going to take the question to the candidates who are running for cultural community diversity. There's a lot going on in the world right now that we are seeing a lot of conflict. We have the rise of hate crimes against Asian Pacific Islanders regarding COVID. We have just seen the shooting of Ahmaud Avery. And this is something that COVID has probably pushed to the background about, and we've been so busy on COVID, we haven't really been able to talk about the structural inequities that exist in our community, but they're there for us to see. So the question is, we're 30,000 students on this campus, and there's so much out there. What is your plan for tackling? How do we bring everyone together? How do we begin to have a conversation? And how do we acknowledge what's going on in the world? There's so much going on in the outside world. It doesn't stop at Colorado Boulevard. It actually translates onto campus. So really the question is, how are you going to bring us all together? And kind of in recognition of the things that have happened lately that are topical in the news. Okay. I've also gonna have to put this on a 30, probably we'll do 45 seconds. Okay. Try and keep it to that. And also, by the way, let me, we are gonna extend this, so we're gonna try and get everything in. But so don't forget, who wants to go first? Did I miss someone? Who wants to go first? Okay. So I'm gonna call on you, and Joanna, that big smile. I'm gonna call on you first. So again, what's your plan for bringing everyone together? And just kind of this also plays into what you're gonna do. So got a minute on the clock. Ready? Go.
Well, first and foremost, one of the things I've learned from experience is that our 3 campuses don't have a lot of communication and, I guess, unity. And that's where I would like to start, because we are PCC. PCC is a Colorado campus, and that's what everybody goes for. But in reality, we have Foothill and Rosemead. So I would like to connect all 3 of them and kind of be able to open to, integrating everybody, the diversity that we have on campus. We can learn from each other. And I have, learned so much being on campus. I myself, I'm actually Guatemalan and Korean. So it's an interesting combination. And there's so many other people out there with so many interesting cultural backgrounds, and learning from each and everybody, the way they communicate, the way they socialize, the values and morals of their families is the one thing that I think we need to grow to be able to communicate with all our neighbors.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Connie or Jasmine? Jazz, go for it. Yep, you're good.
All right. So I believe all of our experiences are valid and deserve respect and representation. With that, I know that we all come from different walks of life, coming to a community college. And I think it's important to acknowledge all the identities, cultures, abilities, and identities that come within. So with that, I would like to emphasize on equity. Equity looks different on everybody. So defining the individual needs of these communities is where to start and where to begin, and realizing that we are all in this together, and that with everything that's going on in the world, I think it's important to have a critical lens at where these problems are coming from, and realizing that these problems are not only community problems, but they're a systemic issue.
Thank you. Okay, Connie, you ready? All right, you're gone.
Okay. So one of the things I would do would to make sure that I talk about the different things that are going on around the world and even around our communities, not just at PCC, and have events that highlight what is going on in the world and to show how we're all connected. And that way people can feel, even if it's not connected to you personally or for your background, you can still identify with what's going on and to help support each other. That's more, I feel like that's what's important. In that way, yeah, and I wanted to help talk about everything so people learn more, because sometimes all you need to do to understand something is to learn more about it. So that's what I would share about what's going on and talk about it more with other people.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I got all of the candidates, cultural diversity. So I'm going to throw one to, oh, Santiago, do you want a chance? It's for cultural diversity, but if you want to talk, you can.
Sorry. If you have another question, that's.
I do actually. I have a specific question just for Emmanuel and Santiago. Actually, it can apply to everybody, but this is going to be specifically for you two. When we talk about working together as a board, for those of you in the audience who don't understand or are not aware, is that there are 2 slates that are running, but no one slate has an entire 10 seats filled. So there's not going to be an entire group coming in where everyone has so the team has not come in. So whatever happens, the group that will be elected will be a combination of different fractions from different folks, different slates, and also folks who are independent, who did not want to join a slate. So my question to Emmanuel and Santiago is, this is the group that you will be walking into. In order to serve your students, it's going to require a great deal of teamwork and coming together. We are in an extremely remote, unique situation. Whereas the students are also remote, you will be remote. So my question is for you two is, what would you do to build teamwork amongst your colleagues who are seated on the board? There's no guarantee that your entire slate will win, and there's no guarantee that your friends will win. So you may be on the board all on your own. So my question to the two of you, and you will have 1 minute to answer, is how you will pull together as a team. And Emmanuel, I see you've got your hand raised. Does that mean you want to answer first? Okay, so go for that. You will have 1 minute.
I think that if taking this position similar to a mandated reporter, we would be able to reach out to our peers that this is a collective job. This is a government, and there's various players in this team, and everyone will contribute their own part. But sometimes I may not have an answer for a student activity. So I will make sure to reach out to the student activity VP that, hey, there's this issue that the student body is requiring a solution for. And I think that's the only way, is creating a friendship and being able to dig into your colleague's mind and figure out what objectives they have in life and for the society and the student body. What problems have they faced? What challenges have helped them grow?
Thank you. All right, Santiago, you're up. How are you going to work together as a team?
Thank you. I will say that first we really need to define what we are shooting for and what we are doing as a board. So I will say that first I would like to really connect with my board members, and if elected, and then try to see what we are looking for from as a whole, what will be our goal, and then from there I will say that for sure that take advantage of all the resources that we have online nowadays, that we are now realizing that we have, and where we could potentially create a better connection within our whole team. I will say that we need to be very humble and understand that we do not know everything, and we are not here for ourselves. We are here for students, and that's something I want to have clear within the team.
All right, thank you. Okay. Okay. All right, so we are coming towards the end of this. There's a couple other questions, but one just came up that I think is really good. That's important, and I think that all of you have a responsibility to answer and be responsive to. Again, you're representing roughly 28 to 30,000 students, and we all come from different walks of life. The question that is here, and I'll ask all of you to answer, is what is your plan to help underprivileged students who are struggling, including part-time students, you've got students students who are parents, you've got students who are in difficult living situations. You will have the gamut of society. My question is, it's really easy to reach out and support the students who have Wi-Fi, who have a computer, who can participate in Zoom, who have enough food to eat and have a safe place to sleep. But we know the reality is not all of our students have that. So think about one thing, because I'm gonna give you 30 seconds, just one thing that you would do to help support those students. They're here for an education. Education is the key to climbing out of poverty and breaking the cycle. We need to do our best to make sure that we can provide that, and you are a key part to that. So take a moment. One thing you would do to help students who are generally marginalized on the fringes of our society and oftentimes overlooked on our campus. We try not to, but it happens. So how would you do that? Santiago, hold on a sec. Let me set my timer and you can go in just a second. Okay, 30 seconds, go.
Thank you. I would say that since it's a very diverse community, one of the things I was thinking was to potentially divide the big community within small subgroups and then target those specific needs from there. So I would say that that's the best way to go.
Okay, you cut out can you say that again, please?
Yeah. So I would since there is a diverse community, I will say that the best thing to do is to divide the big community within small subgroups and target those specific needs from
Okay.
there.
Okay, thank you. All right, next, who wants to go? Parents, students who are struggling. We used to call them non-traditional students. Okay, Emmanuel, ready?
Sure.
Go for it.
My plan is to create a support system. We aren't used to being helped. I consider myself a marginalized student. We aren't used to receiving help. I need to build the trust by providing my personal story, show transparency, show a relation between those who have been affected and live fearing of rejection. And I want to create inclusiveness. Inclusiveness creates involvement.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Jasmine, you're waving your hand there. You ready? Okay, go for it.
So my method of approaching the underrepresented students is realizing where these voices are coming from, identifying what these voices need and what resources there are in order to fulfill their needs. Primarily, I would reach out to the program specifically to see what resources we can offer and connect them as closely to their needs as possible.
Okay, thank you. Who would like to go next? All right, Connie, ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, so what I would do is first find out all the resources that I have available to share, and then I would try to make sure that wherever I am, I would make sure that the voices of those who are being marginalized are being heard, and I would try to reach out to those who to all students, also mostly students who are usually marginalized, to make sure that I'm hearing their voices and that I can share them with wherever I can, whether it's at events or possibly with I shared governance meetings with other faculty.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you. Okay, who else? I think we only have Joanna. I think you're the last one. Okay, go for it.
The way I see things from personal experience is, again, like a lot of my peers have said right now, is, the trust, building the trust and acknowledging the fact that there are resources out there. So having that communication, and right now that we're coming up on 100% where it's still stay at home, I think we'd have to rely on resources to really see which groups and monkey mail them. do what we traditionally do, which is mail out information and sources and be able to communicate with them with current United States Postal.
Great. You all have done such a fantastic job. I think we are 10 minutes over, so I do want to close up because I do want to respect your time. I thank the audience who was kind enough to ask questions and be involved. We will have one more event that is coming up. Two more events. One is primarily for the club. So if you're involved in a club, find out from your ICC rep the Zoom link for the ICC meeting. That meeting is primarily for ICC club members. Some of the candidates will be going there. It is voluntary. Not all of them will be there. And then on Tuesday, so if I can have Robert and Mackenzie wave your hands. So these two folks are running for your AS president. So that's kind of like the big end on that one. So I really do want to encourage you to come next Tuesday. I promise we're going to, third time's the charm. We will get this YouTube link correct. But they will be speaking, and as well as folks who are running for the academic affairs position. So we would love to have you come and again, participate in that, bring your questions. The questions here were fantastic. So candidates, remember I was going to say I was going to give you one last shot at speaking your piece. This is it. It's going to be 20 seconds. And the audience seems to be very interested in, again, what are you bringing to the table? What are your plans? So 20 seconds is not a lot of time. Maybe just think you can concentrate one or the other. What are you bringing to the table, or what is one thing you hope to accomplish while you're here in office? Okay, you're thinking about that. And it will be 20 seconds so we can get everyone through and back to class. Joanna, I know you have to go to class, so let's have you go first, then you can pop on off. Okay? Ready? Go.
So once again, if elected, I'd like to fulfill my responsibility, to open that community of diversity with the whole aspect of communication, having that communication and being able to provide as much information available for us to understand that we're all one in unity. So our uniqueness equals our unity.
Okay, great. Thank you. Go to class. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Who else wants to go next then? Connie, go for it.
All right, so once again, I'm Connie Rivera. I am rerunning for the position of Vice President of Community Diversity, and I want to continue to celebrate the diversity that exists at campus, and I also want to help highlight the groups that tend to be not celebrated or talked about. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Who's next? Santi. All right, ready? Go.
Hello everyone, my name is Santiago Vargas. I will say we need innovation, we need inclusiveness, and we need access to everything we need.
Okay, thanks. Okay, who's next? Jasmine, go for it.
All right. Thank you. To conclude, my vision as Vice President for Community Diversity is to unite cultures, identities, and all student voices of the Pasadena City College community in order to cultivate an inclusive and equitable campus climate. I believe all our experiences are valid and deserve respect and to be represented. I hope to be able to further represent, empower, and unite the communities of Pasadena.
You're good. You're good. Thank you. All right, I've had Jasmine, Santiago. I need to hear from Emmanuel. Ready? Go. Technical difficulties?
Yeah, sorry. It's muted now?
No, you're good. Go for it.
Yeah. Oh, for me, I want to be able to share my personal experiences on campus to facilitate the Lancer Life. I am involved at the Food Lancer Pantry. I am now part of Pathways' new team, Equipo, which will advocate for the marginalized population. And I just plan to use this platform as another way to express the student voice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, has everyone had a chance to speak? I got everybody? Okay, thank you all very much. I'm going to end the live recording. Woohoo! Wait, it's still recording. Hold on, it's still streaming.